broadcast community. It is MJ Callaway here with your next episode of Bounce Up Broadcast. And I am thrilled to have guests with me, a number of guests with me today in the studio. And today we are talking about my newly released book, 13 Simple Client Follow-Up Strategies, how you can get more sales. And I am so blessed and grateful to have Lori, Gail, Denny, and Tanya, and they'll introduce themselves to you in a bit, with me because each of them, they were one of my advanced readers. So they were able to go through the book, get some aha moments, I hope, and then see what they liked, but also to give me feedback. So I knew if I was hitting the mark or not, because really we want to make sure that we are doing that. So welcome each of you. Thank you so much for being part of my advanced readers and my launch team. I really appreciate each of you. I'm going to kick off with Gail. So Gail, if you can tell us a little bit about what you do for business, so we'll be able to relate why this book means a lot to you.
Well, thank you, MJ. I'm the founder of Connection Contracting, LLC, and I work as an independent contractor in sales and business development for the Pittsburgh Airport Area Chamber of Commerce and Right Hand Technology Group, which is a cybersecurity company. And when I was reading your book, I had a client. Jogging Your Memories was the first one, the first one I read, and I had a client who was looking to close it. I was looking to close the deal with him. He was supposed to make a decision on Friday, and it was Tuesday, and I hadn't heard. So I used your template, the Jogging Your Memory, and within 2 hours, he called me back, and we won the deal. So that was motivating.
Oh my goodness, congratulations. That's awesome. And Gail's talking about strategy 1. So it's the very first strategy in the book. And that strategy, I feel, sets you up for other strategies in the book because it lays the foundation. Would you agree, Gail?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And congrats on winning that deal. Lori, you're up next.
Thanks for having me, MJ. I always love being with you. So I'm the founder of the nonprofit Faith and Gratitude. We work to educate and empower people who are newly diagnosed with any type of cancer. And I myself am a 6+ year ovarian cancer survivor. So I know the importance, thank you. I know the importance of really, getting good information, being empowered, empowering others, educating others so that they can, go along and on their path and do additional research. But anyway, I read the book so quickly, MJ. And really, strategy 10 so resonated with me. And the fact that, I'm talking to these patients, new patients every single day, and being able just to send an article that I just read to them or a video, to your point, just feels just right. Just to allow people just as they go along on their path.
And your organization does so much for so many people. So thank you for, creating an organization that can help so many people that need it. But the sharing, you're right, the sharing the article, it helps you build that connection with others and to let them know that you're thinking of them. And it brings that value, the value that your organization gives to others. So the one thing that I do want, because I come from a nonprofit background at one time, I had worked for a nonprofit. And one of the things that I have found when I worked in the nonprofit was that the others around me, because they were always in nonprofit, they didn't come from corporate to nonprofit. They never thought of it as a business. But Lori, it's a business.
It is from, P&L statements and balance sheets, the whole way through fundraising, donor community alliances. It just goes on. And we truly run it as a business. So reading the book too kind of brings it back a little more to home, right? When you're thinking about how we're running it as a business, but then literally how we can implement the strategies, not from a sales necessarily viewpoint, but it's so relatable to what we're doing.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. All right,
You're
Denny.
welcome.
Yes. Well, I have an equity interest in a flooring and restoration company, so resurfacing and reinstalling, and I also get paid by insurance carriers to interview their clients and assess risk for the products and services that they have to make sure that they're getting the right thing. And your aha moments were several. The obviously strategy number one with your the 3 bullets, that is a start, because everything can be implemented and piggybacked off of that. And the thank you note, when you talked about a thank you note, that if it's not done properly, I could actually be stopping all forms of communication when that's not what I want to do. I want to keep communicating, down the road and everything. And that was an aha moment. And testimonials, strategy 4 and 5 with the testimonies. We know that bad things happen to good people, and the fact that what I'm doing with the insurance carriers, they may not want to be talking to me at that point, but I know that what I'm helping them with could help them on what could possibly be the worst day of their life, and that gives me a solid feeling inside knowing that I can help with that. And when something like that happens, I need to know about it. So sharing a valuable article and talking about how there's so many unpaid claims by carriers, not because they don't want to pay it, nobody's claimed the money, they don't know. Children in that don't even know that policies exist and things. So there was so much in your book. I mean, for that little guy there, that was awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Tanya, you're up.
Well, I am Tanya Edinger, the Pittsburgh wedding planner and luxury event concierge. I've been doing this for 23 years and I absolutely love it. I don't know what life would be without it. So every day I wake up and try to think of how can I get my message to be more clear? And when I read your book, MJ, it was like, oh, here's exactly step by step how to get your message to be extremely clear. And one of the things that I liked is you have a point in there that says, one of your bullet points says, oh, I'll give you a call Tuesday or Thursday this week. But there was also a second part that said, P.S. If you would rather have a custom appointment, call me today at my personal cell. And the reason I like this is because a lot of, you had a statistic in the book that stated that people don't normally follow up more than 3 or 4 times. And 5 times was the bare minimum that you should be following up. And so the reason this resonated so much with me was because after I follow up, I was saying, I'm going to close the loop. I need to close the loop on this. Are we moving forward or what? And it was kind of aggressive. And a lot of the people that I work with are in healthcare. And so maybe they were in the OR for 4 days straight. And now they're sleeping for 2 days straight. And they got my message and it says, would you like to talk Tuesday or Thursday? And then on Thursday it says, well, I'm closing the loop. And so now, I can add this because I don't, there's so many calls coming in. I need to be more precise, and I want to get qualified people that are resonating and vibing with me, because I want to serve the best that I can. And that means somebody that works with me. And saying that to allow the client to have a custom appointment is going to work tremendous for me, because then after my 5 follow-ups, which I will be making sure I make at least 5, they'll go into my newsletter. And then I can use other aspects of the book, like points 1, 2, and 3 from the very beginning, where I can ask questions and answer those questions with aspects of things that I've already done. So, I mean, this was such a good read. I literally could not put it down, and I didn't want to. I just sat there and was enthralled in it, and then just took a bunch of notes, and I'm like, I can't wait to use this.
Thank you. Well, as much fun as it sounds like you had reading it, each of you, I had as much fun writing it because it reminded me of different times that I did send it out to clients, and I can picture the clients that I had whenever I was creating these emails. But for me, it tapped into that creativity. I mean, each of you know that I have a 20-some year background in writing. So it's that creativity that I don't think anything about doing, but I know that not everybody does. So, and that statistic, Tanya, thank you for bringing that up, because only 8% of sales professionals follow up more than 5 times.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. So that's 92% of people are dropping the ball before 5 times. So that opens a door for all of us to get more business or get more donations in Lori's case. So
we're all salespeople, no matter what you do. Even if you're a mother, you have to get buy-in from your children. So you're selling something. So every single one of us, this book could be good for, because it can streamline and really help you to clarify what could, potentially help turn the corner for a potential client, or getting buy-in from even a friend or someone in your family. It could strengthen family relations too.
But it is so true. That is a good point. Very good point. But, when you were saying that, MJ, about even donations, right, from a nonprofit standpoint. So we have this fundraising committee, right? And a lot of the people on the committee, it's like the door closes. If they can't get through to somebody that first call, or if they feel as though they're just nervous about it, they're like, I can't get anybody. And I'm like, that's okay. Let me see if I can do it. So I'm just a little more persistent. And I think sometimes it's not necessarily always for me that those 5, but I can definitely, can understand that in its sales position. But I think sometimes when you're coming at it, like, it's definitely more than once or twice. You got to give it that, right? And I think it's hard for people to do that sometimes. They just feel like, I don't know if I can. You can do it. Read MJ's book.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Lori. But think about if the only thing that you're thinking of doing or saying is I'm following up or I'm checking in, it doesn't inspire you. I mean,
or different ways of saying it too sometimes, right? We're thinking of different ways of saying just checking in or just following up. What are some other words we can use to say the same thing? No, it's not what we should be doing.
Right, or reaching out, or yes. So now, Gail, you had said something when we were talking prior. You had said something about, sharing this. And one of the things that you had liked, so I don't want to paraphrase what you said. So what was one of the things that you said that you plan to implement soon?
Oh, I think I plan on implementing it all soon. There's not one thing in my book. And just like Tanya said, when I was reading it, I couldn't put it down. And anybody who knows me knows that it will take me 3 months to read a chapter in a book, because I usually will fall asleep before I get through 2 pages, right? I couldn't put this one down. But I'm not sure specifically what point we were talking about there, MJ, but I mentioned that if I had a sales team, that I would buy this book and I would work with them and implement those each one of your strategies for 2 weeks. I'd have them work a different strategy for 2 weeks, and in 26 weeks, I think honestly you'd have more customer sales, and I think you would have a much happier and a much more active sales team. The number one, to be making more money. So right there, they're going to be happy, right?
Yes.
And number 2, I think we all fall into that trap of, I'm following up, and we lose the creativity. We don't show our customers how much they mean to us, because at that point we have forgotten about that first conversation that made them come to us. And I think through every single one of your strategies, I was talking when the one where you say enter the testimonial. I mean, that's amazing, because it's showing, and not just any testimonial, a testimonial where where you have somebody have the same problem as the client you're trying to close. And it's the way you did it. It's a very nice way of doing it. It wasn't like see, this person likes me. It was more like, I saw the testimonial and they had the same problem you had. And I was thinking that you might find this helpful. Everything you do and the way you do it is all about the customer. And I think sometimes when you're young and you're starting in the workforce, you don't know how to do that. And when you're older, you fall into bad habits. And this just made me realize some of the bad habits I fell into and why people maybe aren't calling me back sometimes. Because I think that you have to show the customer that you really care and that you're listening, and not only listening to their problem that day, but you're remembering it.
That's what, and that going back to that strategy 1, that has served me so well doing those 3 bullets. But thank you so much for sharing. What a great idea. I never even thought about that, Gail. So thank you. Having a sales team do 1 strategy for 2 weeks. And then you have, it makes so much sense. And they get that nailed down before they go to the next one and really fine tune it, because it takes a few emails for you to actually, you can copy my words and then tweak them that fits your own voice, your own tone.
Right, exactly.
So who's going to use the national days?
Oh, I'm going to use that.
Thank you, Sam.
That is one of my favorite ways to connect with people, is doing the national days. And last week was Global Meetings Industry Day. I had to get it, GMID 2022. So, and I had sent Tanya, because Tanya is like the premier event planner. And I sent her one, and I think I did send everybody else one just to say I practice what I preach. I sent out 90 emails to meeting professionals that I know. So just wishing them a happy day, because it's their day. And it's an easy way to connect again.
I like that.
I love that, MJ, because I think that the customer, when they get that email, they probably didn't know that was a national day. And I have a feeling that they will probably incorporate that in many conversations that day. And all of a sudden, your email becomes very valuable. And when they see something come through, they're going to open it, because they don't know what other words of wisdom you're going to lay on them, right?
Well, thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Now, how many of you, and it's okay to admit it, because at one time I did it too, have you ever sent a "I'm following up" email? Yeah. Because sometimes we're all so tired. We don't want to think. So whenever I was in a corporate position, one of the things that I did, which is the premise of this book, is I wrote out a ton. I just created all, and I made them templates. I had used Salesforce at the time, so I could create the templates. And I just had all these different strategies, ways that I could connect with people, so I didn't have to think. Because let's face it, at 5 o'clock, who feels like thinking about creating an email that's going to get somebody's attention? Now, we're getting ready to wind down. So what is one last thing, maybe something you want to ask or something you want to share before we close?
So I'll say something.
Okay.
So just today, my son accepted a new position, and it will have a sales component. And your book, MJ, will be in his Easter basket this year, and place it in the chocolate bunny.
That's an awesome gift.
That's right. That's right. That came to me. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, and it is perfect timing.
Oh,
So,
congrats to him. Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
it's exciting.
He's following your footsteps because you have a sales background.
I do. Yep, sales and marketing. In Bell Helicopters, though, so it's total aviation. I spent most of my working years, but yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
MJ, I just enjoyed reading the whole book. Like everybody else, I just read it straight through. You had suggested read chunks at a time, but I didn't want to put it down. I didn't have to put it down because it was very quick and concise. It was exactly what a busy sales consultant needs. They don't need a big, emails for dummies. They need something that's a little bit smaller, a little more concise. And my gosh, the direct path. I mean, I don't know what to do. Okay, read the make it happen action. It's just one step at a time. And you made it so simple. And simple is what we all need. And just another outstanding work on your part. That's awesome.
Thank you, Denny. I appreciate that.
That's true.
And I just want to thank you for having me be part of it and to read it early on and to have me be part of this podcast for you as well. It's just, you're so inspirational and you just are a blessing in my life.
Amen.
Thank you, Gail.
I agree.
Oh, thank you. Oh, don't make me cry. See, I want to just say, Gail, actually, she wrote the foreword for the book. So, and I appreciate that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So wonderful. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Very
I
nice.
was like, how do I know this Gail girl? I've seen her somewhere before.
I know. I saw her name somewhere. Where did I see that? That's where I saw it.
Now
That's
it's all
where.
coming together.
Great time. I was doing the same thing. Like, where do I know her?
Yes. All right, Tanya, do you have a last share?
Yes. The last share for me is the fact that, like, when you're closing your emails, I really liked how you with this one guy, you were like, how would you use your outdoor space? So one, you cared enough to even ask because he was shopping for a house.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, will you be throwing parties and stuff? And so, like, when you're house hunting, if it's not brought up to you, you're going in to make sure there's no water on the floor, the electric works, the important things. But this also is an important aspect of it, and it drills deep the questions that will be relatable to your topic, and answer ending with a question. So it's like not like we're closing the loop and bye, see you later. It's more like, I want to continue this conversation. So thank you for answering my questions, but question one more time. What about this? Answer me in another way. And also I want to say, like, I don't know if I said this already, but I want to say that no matter what profession you're in, this book is fantastic for everyone. And even if you're a mother or like if you have family issues, because you can practice on your family and learn how to speak this way. So when you are approaching clients or when you are emailing people and trying to get clients that way, you're getting a better ROI, not just in work, but also in life.
Good point.
Yeah, that is a really good point. It's true.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, every one of you. Thank you so much for being first part of my life and part of my inner circle. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am so blessed. Thank you for joining this broadcast here too. It was fun. This was a really fun segment, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, MJ.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Bye, girls.
Congratulations, MJ.
Thank you. And for our broadcast community, please go ahead and like, share, comment. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. It's under MJ Callaway. And until next time, remember to make it a bounce up day.